Hello, Module 2, How do people learn? In this module, I have focused on how I learn. And learning is about questions, all right? So if you have a question about a subject matter, something that fascinates you, you're gonna learn it, you're gonna commit it to long-term memory, you're gonna put it into that file cabinet. You'll be able to retrieve that memory, modify it, add to it, transfer it to another memory or another subject matter. You get to use the memories that you store in your long-term memory. But you also need to learn how to ditch the memories that are going to clog up the file cabinet and take away precious space. So that's a little bit different, is finding that balance for people and finding it in my students as a teacher, what gets to go into that file cabinet and what doesn't. But the one thing that remains the same is that people learn differently and they ask different questions, but they're seeking out the answers to those questions. And whatever they are seeking out answers to questions they create in their head, some of that subject matter is going to go into the long-term memory because they're engaged. Curiosity is going to create that question. Answering that question is going to take research. It's going to take brain activity. Neurotransmitters are going to be created. There's going to be pathways that those neurons travel down. There's going to be dendrites that are going to branch out and latch onto that brain activity. It gets fascinating, but it also means your brain is growing, your intelligence is growing, and it means that the simple trick that I need to find in my students is what makes them tick, what fascinates them. Get them to ask a question and then seek the answer for days about a project. For instance, we are making boats. We're on boat 4 in the woodshop in Hull High School. I had to learn how to make boats upon being hired in Hull, Massachusetts. The reason why I wanted to learn so vastly is because I picked up on some cues during the interview from the superintendent directly from herself, as if I was going to be open to transcribe and transform my carpentry and furniture making skills in something more along the lines of what the town environment entailed, which was a coastal environment on the ocean. And I said, sure, I'm open to it. I said to myself, I've got a young 6-month-old kid, and I said, everything's lined up. I said, the only thing I need to do is I need to learn how to take what I know and make a boat. So I turned into a boat builder. I adapted, I asked questions. How is this different than a chair? And I answered those questions. And about 30% of the boat is carpentry. Then there's the marina. They partnered me up with a boat building expert who knows about epoxy, mixing them, and the components. Project plan reading is the same as furniture making, a lot of similarities. So I played ball, modified as I went, asked questions, remained curious. Bam, we're on boat 4. The program is a thriving success. I went from 17 students in my class, which I inherited, to 48 students with a waiting list. Hook, line, and sink. Job well done. Now that my child is almost 3 years old, I have a new set of curious questions about tenure, about student involvement and engagement, about taking it to the next level, about fundraising for the program, etc. As I remain curious, I will seek out the answers to those questions. I will take those questions and information that I derive from that, and I will store it into the file cabinet to be used at a later date. I also understand that people learn in different time frames. They learn subject matters they don't want to know. Let's face it, if I didn't take research methods, I wouldn't know how to research. Now, is research methods the most fascinating subject matter? Absolutely not. But am I able to read bar graphs? Am I able to pick up a journal of behavioral science and understand the lingo in there? Absolutely. Do I know what the numbers mean when there's a pictorial graph explaining that? I do. So not everything is going to be answered through questions that fascinate you in a subject matter. Sometimes you have to play ball and you have to just do it. That's one of the different aspects of what we learn in this course will integrate with some of my philosophies and whatnot. To keep it stupid simple, you remain curious, you create questions, you find the answers, you get memories. You throw a little bit of emotion in there like a song or a rite of passage like getting your driver's license, or something even drastic like September 11th. Things like that are all going to be emotions, memories, and answering questions. The key word here is questions.